Hello, my friends, and thank you for tuning in to Weird Mythic Podcast. This is actually take 2 of my Squonk and Char-Man episode, so I'm hoping this one goes a lot better. I don't always do more than one take, usually like if I mess something up, then I'll pause and re-say it or go through it, but it's usually for me just one long take. But I just did not like how that first one turned out, even with me trying to edit it. So I am very late now on putting out episodes once a week. Something that I always want to do, but as you could tell, has not happened yet. I am getting better though, continuing to better myself. I have been busy to say the least. My work is going great. I love this office. I love where I'm working. I very much enjoy working with the people I work with, and I hope it continues to go just as good because I told the hiring manager, I told you, I'm looking for a career. Let me stay somewhere long term. It's always hard to keep a job if there's always layoffs, and I've had that type of luck the last few times. But this place is great, keeping me busy, and that's exactly what I need. My family, of course, keeping me busy on weekends. I think I need to actually start recording more on Mondays. That way I can have my weekend to do a little bit of research, but mainly do the shit that I need to do, see the people I need to see, and get all that shit done. But we're here, Mythic Fam, and I'm very happy to be bringing in a first cryptid episode of the year to you. I am also happy to say that concert season for me has officially started. I got to see a Linkin Park cover band with a new friend / coworker of mine, and it was so much fun. It was at a venue in Roseville that I had not been to before, and it is a great venue. I never got to see Linkin Park while Chester was alive, so that was really sad. But I was so happy to be part of this crowd of people who were either fans like me or even bigger fans. Like, I knew every song, but there was some bigger Linkin Park fans than me there. And I love live music. If you remember last year in 2023, how many shows I went to, I'm going to go to just as many, if not more, this year. So just got to say it has started. I got some other shows coming up that I really want to go to. So I need to go ahead and buy all my tickets for that. I did read something really cool that I do want to share with everybody. I do like to read the news when I can, and it's usually really fucking depressing. Correct me if I'm wrong. However, I came across a really cool article about Christian Bale. The last 16 years, he's been battling against the city of LA, Los Angeles, about building. He wanted to build this home and community center, and it's to keep kids who are in foster care, the siblings. This place is meant to keep them together so that they don't get separated. Again, 2008, 16 years ago, he started this, and there has been so much red tape and hoops that this man has had to jump through to finally have the city of Los Angeles approve it. And he now has I don't know, I think it's less than 20 homes, but I don't know how big these homes are with a big community center in the middle. And it's, as I said, to keep those who are going into foster care, all the siblings together. So hats off to Christian Bale, our real Bruce Wayne, for putting his money in to the children. Thank you. I just had to share that. Got to share a bit of positivity in the world. And before I get started on today's episode, I want to not only thank everybody for the continued support, I wanted to say thank you to Total Conundrum Podcast for all their support. Also, I am going to go ahead and play one of their trailers, and everybody go listen to Total Conundrum Podcast. Just listen. It is exactly what the title says. But here is their trailer. Enjoy. I have all of their information in the show notes.
In a world where true crime meets the supernatural and the unexplained.
Where true crime and chills go hand in hand.
Welcome to Total Conundrum, the podcast that explores the dark, the eerie, and the downright mysterious.
Join us as we embark on a spine-tingling journey through the mysteries that keep you up at night.
We're diving deep into true crime stories, uncovering the most baffling cases, and exploring the twisted minds behind them.
But we don't stop there. We're also exploring the paranormal, from haunted houses to cryptids and all the creepy things that go bump in the night. Get ready for some supernatural thrills.
And what sets us apart? Prepare for a dose of dark humor as we navigate through the creepy and bizarre.
We've got it all. Bone-chilling tales, banter, and mind-boggling conundrums. You won't know whether to scream or laugh.
So grab your favorite snack, turn down the lights, and join us for a roller coaster ride of true crime and the supernatural, sprinkled with a bit of comic banter.
Stay curious, stay captivated, and let's dive into the world of Total Conundrum.
Now available on your favorite podcast platform. Get ready to be captivated, creeped out, and cracked up with Total Conundrum. Thanks for hanging out with us here at Total Conundrum. Please make sure to check out our website and blog at totalconundrum.com for news, upcoming events, merch, bloopers, and additional hysteria. You never know what will pop up, so be sure to follow along. If you want to show your support for Total Conundrum and gain access to all of our bonus content, please visit our Patreon page. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The links are available in our show notes. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, or stories to share, please email us at contact@totalconundrum.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate the love. Keep on creeping on, mother cluckers.
Okay, yes, and yes. Let's go ahead and dive into the episode. So this week, I am getting back to cryptids. So we haven't talked about a cryptid yet in 2024, and this is the one to start us off. The Squonk, who is known to be the most depressed of all the cryptids. Now, that wasn't myself who gave the Squonk this title, but to be honest, it really does fit its personality. So the Squonk, it has ill-fitting or loose skin, has tusks, 4 legs, and a body that kind of resembles a pig. However, it is covered, and I mean completely covered in like warts and boils. The Squonk has webbing between its toes, but only on the 2 left feet. So we have this 4-legged pig type creature with 2 webbed feet on the left side. So I'm sorry, but if it swims, it's just swimming in circles, and that's just not fair. The Squonk's eyes are constantly crying and tearing up. The Squonk does call North Pennsylvania home. It lives in the hemlock forests. And the first reported sightings of the Squonk are from the 1800s, like the late 1800s, reported by local jumblejacks, reported by local jumberjacks. See, I said it again. Reported by local lumberjacks. The Squonk has ill-fitting skin and has like the worst complexion and is constantly crying because of how it looks. The Squonk purposefully hides from anything and anyone, and that's honestly just because it's so ugly. And I did read on a few sites that the Squonk can shapeshift. It usually stays in its original form though, but when it feels threatened, it will shapeshift. Sometimes look like a type of bird, but always with like a very long beak, like a beak that just does not fit this bird. A story of the Squonk shapeshifting is from a man who was hiking in Cedar Run. Remember, this is in northern Pennsylvania. The man encountered the Squonk as he was wading through the marsh. The man had heard an odd sobbing noise coming from just ahead of him. At first, the man thought it was the water trickling over the stones, but as he got closer to the sobbing noise, he saw a fat gray bird, about the size of a chicken. The bird all of a sudden appeared in front of the man and just like almost tripping in front of him and crying uncontrollably. The crying got worse once the gray bird noticed the man walking in front of him. The man started walking towards this crying bird and saw it disappear right in front of his eyes. He then saw a long brown serpent gliding on the water where the crying bird had been. The man said this brown serpent was about 25 feet long. As the man continued to look at this brown snake, he realized it was not a snake at all, but a long vine that was attached to an alder tree on the banks. Was this a Squonk he happened to see that shapeshifted? Who knows? Other sightings on the Squonk are sort of similar. The Squonk, remember, hates the way it looks and believes itself to be a loser and ugly, hence why it's constantly crying and wanting to hide from those trying to capture it. The Squonk has been known to cry itself to death. If captured or scared, it will cry and cry until it turns itself into a little puddle of tears. In a book called Fearsome Creatures by Hal Johnson, a man named J.P. Wentlington has a story about how he had caught a Squonk. Now, J.P. actually did capture the Squonk and had it in a bag. He heard it crying, and it was just like kind of sitting in the bag, not putting up a fight. But once JP got home and went to go open his bag of Cryptid, all he encountered was a bag of water. The Squonk had cried itself into a puddle, and JP had no Cryptid to show off. Hal Johnson actually explained in his book Fearsome Creatures that Squonks reproduce through binary fusion. Now, I don't want to get into what binary fusion is. If you have some sort of idea, yeah, you're right. I either way, like, look it up, Google, because I am not I don't have a science brain, and I didn't feel like reading from Wikipedia, but I understand what it is. So that's fun. But you don't always get like how cryptids do reproduce. That's not always something that we find, and we all have like certain ideas, I'm sure, and there are theories out there on a lot of them, but haven't heard that one before. So another book called Fearsome Critters of the Lumberwoods and a Few Desert Mountain Beasts, author William Cox has a great description of the Squonk, and I am going to read directly from his book. Quote, "It is a most retiring, bashful, crepuscular animal, garbed in a loose, warty, singular, ill-fitting skin. The Squonk is always unhappy, even morbid. He is given to constant weeping over his really upsetting appearance and can sometimes be tracked by his tear-stained trail." Unquote. Yeah, I love that. So there are a few more books that mention the Squonk, and I will list them in the show notes, along to a couple songs that I actually listened to. So the band Steely Dan has the song Any Major Dude Will Tell. And Genesis, the band Genesis, has a song named Squonk. Both of them mention the Squonk. So Just go listen to those. I also read in some of like comments and whatnot on some of the articles I was reading that native or local Pennsylvanians call squonks bagunk, which is Bagunk, and that the bagunk are like in the lower mountains. So someone enlighten me, let me know if that's true. I read in another article, like this one was great because there's apparently a hunting season for squonks in Pennsylvania and it's in October. However, dude, I could not find any legit government website where you can get a squonk hunting tag. So I don't know. And just to end our awesome, hideous squonk cryptid, there is Squonkapalooza, August 10th of this year in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Somebody go take pictures, send me what your thoughts are and what how it was. I need to know this. Somebody go. Oh, so let me know what you think about the squonk in the comments and any other type of odd cryptid that you could think of that is in the running for most hideous cryptid. Let me know in the comments below also. So I am always looking for hauntings, especially those in California, so that I can go visit those. And I came across a story in Ojai, California of the Char-Man. I also came across a whole lot of other shit in Ojai, California. You guys got some paranormal stuffs going on over there, so I have to come by and visit. The stories of the Char-Man, all of them seem pretty legit, but it's unknown the exact origin of Char-Man. As I said, he is located in Ojai, California, and you mainly see him along the Creek Road at Camp Comfort County Park near the bridge. Apparently there's a bridge there. Saw lots of pictures. Char-Man is seen near the bridge in the woods around that road. The description is that of a badly burnt, hence charred, man. He is so disfigured that he was unrecognizable by anyone who sees him. Char-Man will attack motorists. He will be running after the car or motorcycle from the woods to attack. If you get out of your car, you will be attacked. If you get out of your car and you are on the bridge and then scream for help, Char-Man will emerge and run after you to attack. Char-Man is seen with burnt, peeling skin and sometimes covered in rags or bandages. Some even say that you can smell the odor of a body being burned while he is running to attack you. Here are the stories and origins of Char-Man. The first one starts off in Ojai Valley, and this is in 1948. There was a very large brush fire in the valley. The fire was so fast that not everyone got the notice of the evacuation. Many homes were destroyed, and a lot of the valley burnt up. It was a couple of days before firemen and first responders could check on anyone who was unable to make it out of the fire. It was known that a man and his son lived in a cabin in the valley. Their cabin was found extremely burnt. Those who were first on the scene saw the dad. His body was strung up in the trees and his skin was flayed off his body. The son was not found. Legend says that the son, who was so burnt and in pain that he became insane, unable to save his dad, save himself. This insanity made him flay his dad and then hang his body. He is now Char-Man. Our second story comes from the same fire in 1948. A man and his wife were staying in a cabin when the fire broke out. The man was able to escape the home, but once he was out of the fire, he could hear his wife screaming inside. The husband was unable to help his wife due to his own injuries. He listened to her burn alive. The husband is now the legend of Char-Man. The third story is from the same fire, 1948, and this is that of a fireman. Sadly, a fireman was caught in the blaze and it became so hot while trying to get out of the fire, the man burnt alive inside his suit. later becoming the legend of Char-Man. Something to note though. Ventura County Historical Museum states that there were no victims in the 1948 fire. So it's just a little strange though. Our fourth origin story is that sometime in the 1950s. And this theory was that there was a very bad accident on the bridge, and the driver never made it out of the car and was burned beyond recognition, later becoming the legend of Char-Man. Another theory actually comes from local law enforcement in Ojai. Some local cops state that Char-Man was an old man from the 1960s. This elderly man had a skin condition and had skin cancer. His face and arms were disfigured and deformed. The old man didn't want to scare or gain attention, so he would actually walk around at night as like his way of getting fresh air, exercise, or just get the hell out of the house. Once someone had seen him, he then became the legend of Char-Man. Now, as soon as I read that, that really piqued my interest because I know of a story going back to Pennsylvania with our Squonk, but Raymond Robinson of Pennsylvania was known as Charlie No Face or the Green Man. And he actually is a real dude, this real guy. Raymond had a facial injury as a child that completely disfigured his face. And he would then exercise at night and he was seen by some, local kids or somebody and, rumors start and he became Charlie No Face. But if I don't, I'll have to add a reference or something. I'll have to put it in the show notes. But this was a real guy. So as soon as I heard that of Char-Man, I was like, well, that could definitely be real right there. The legend of the Char-Man is like that of Bloody Mary now. Locals will go to the bridge and yell, "Help me," to entice or draw him out. So that is our cryptid and haunting episode for 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want some comments to let me know about the Squonk. If anybody has seen it, please send me any cryptid sightings or your own personal cryptid experiences to weirdmythicpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of the show, of course, and comments, likes. If you have any experience of the Char-Man or anything similar, you could also send that to the weirdmythicpodcast@gmail.com. Go to all my social medias. Send me all your thoughts and feedback to Weird Mythic Podcast on Twitter, Weird Mythic Podcast on Instagram, Weird Mythic Podcast on YouTube, Weird Mythic on TikTok. Again, thanks for tuning in. Bye.